when you've heard something a couple of times already, when you hear it 2 or 3 times, when I've heard it twice, the third time I'm already expecting what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And when something changes, it surprises me. And that's what makes people go, oh, that was cool. I wasn't expecting that, right? You catch them off guard. And the Beatles were brilliant at that. So the second thing, now this one I can't claim credit for because this is an idea that's been around since Bach, probably even before. Well, I'm sure. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we're talking at least Monteverdi and probably even before that. So, we're talking, 1600s. But the idea sort of plays into, of course, we know the main rule for baseball is 3 strikes and you're out, right?
Yeah.
And so I always strive to, if I'm going particularly, well, this can work a couple of different ways, but I'm going to talk sort of globally within a song to start with. If I do a section of a song 3 times or 4, because I just told you Brutal Camouflage has 4 verses to it, I try to never do it the same way twice, or never do it the same way more than twice, I should say. Never do it 3 times exactly the same way, what I'm trying to say. So, for instance, if you listen to the song Brutal Camouflage, second song on the album, and I should say this, part of this can be handled through production. Okay, so because you can create variation by adding in another instrument or even taking away an instrument, right? So, sometimes when it's coming along and then all of a sudden, like everything drops out except for like an acoustic guitar and a vocal or whatever, or sometimes it may start that way. So it can be additive, or you can also subtract something. So the production can be a part of that too, but it also can be effective in the composition point. So for instance, when you listen to Brutal Camouflage, there are 4 verses to it. And as I told you, I didn't want to write 4 verses, but I ended up doing it because it just felt right. So the first verse is acoustic guitar, little hi-hat, and vocal by itself. Then the second verse comes in after that, full band. Okay. The third verse, except for the lyrics being different, of course, is almost exactly like the second verse. I think Seth does improvise a little different guitar lick in there, but other than that, it's virtually the same. So when I came to the fourth verse, I changed the chords and the melody. It's still recognizable as being a verse, but I actually, so when you listen to it, that was actually one of the things I was going to demonstrate back here that we can't hear apparently, but that's what I tried to with. So with that one, so just to give you an idea, so the chords at the beginning of the verse, of all of the first 3 verses go F major to F minor, B flat major, back to F minor. Okay, so when I did, so when I got to the last verse, I went F major, A flat minor, then B flat minor instead of B flat major, then to C. Okay, and then changed the melody slightly, and then sort of went back to what we were doing before, and then it sort of links back up, and so that forces the melody to have to change there, and so it comes across as being a little different. And then also in the choruses, so I changed up, there's a little intro where I do, and can you feel it? And the last time I did this little chromatic walk up where I did, and can you feel it? And can you feel it? And can you feel it? And every time it goes up a half step, then comes back down, and then I do the verse, and then the verse extends. And you see that often. I'm sorry, the chorus is what I meant to say. The chorus extends. And so you see that a lot in songs, a lot of songs, the chorus will double at the end, or they'll add in something else, or they'll add some other harmonies. That doesn't happen all the time. They're always going to find exceptions of that. One that came to mind earlier this morning, Bad Case of Loving You, Robert Palmer. 3 choruses, they're all exactly the same. There's not really any difference. So it does work, but that is a little bit of a shorter song. But I think that when an audience is listening to your song, if they're really listening to it, and this goes for me too, when you've heard something a couple of times already, when you hear it 2 or 3 times, when I've heard it twice, the third time I'm already expecting what's going to happen. And when something changes, it surprises me. And that's what makes people go, oh, that was cool. I wasn't expecting that, right? You catch them off guard. And the Beatles were brilliant at that. They were really, really brilliant. But, even Beethoven did that. Even Mozart did that. This is not a new idea. Whenever we're doing something like this, try to never do anything 3 times in a row exactly the same. And again, it's a guideline, it's not a rule. You will find a lot of exceptions of it, but I even try to do that like within the song, because I'll hear sometimes, people will write a song and they'll do this really cool lick, and you go, oh yeah, that's really awesome, or they have a cool line for a verse or whatever, and you're like, okay, cool, and then they do it again, and you go, okay, well that's cool. Okay, they repeated it, okay, nice, and then you hear it a third time, and at that point I'm kind of going, I'm ready to hear something else. I've heard this 3 times now. It's time to hear something else. And then if they do it a fourth time, for me, I've kind of, as an audience member, sort of written it off. Okay, well, and of course, techno music has made a fortune doing that, right? The same thing over and over and over again, So it really depends upon the genre of what you're doing. But I think that again, if you can add in some elements to do it, one of the things I did too that you can go and check out is the section of Platforms of Illusion. We released it as a single. I think I played it on one of the song circles one time. It's called Best Life. So it's Best Life from Platforms of Illusion. It's the second section of the 20-minute song. And it has 3 verses in it. And in the third verse, I actually shortened the verse. I completely removed the second line, of the melody, and just went straight from the first to the third and fourth and shortened it. And it works perfectly. And so when you listen to it, you're expecting it to do that, and it doesn't, and it becomes a hit, right? And so people have kind of talked about like, oh yeah, that kind of caught me off guard, and I wasn't expecting that, and surprising your audience, coming back to something they weren't expecting, doing something different from what they expect. I think that's one of the things that keeps people coming back to songs a lot of times.
There's this song by Avicii that I've been listening to lately, just by accident, discovered it. It's called Hey Brother. I don't know if you know it off the top of your head, but it's 2 or 3 parts that repeat, but what he's done, it's the dynamics in the sections and how he builds up the parts, and they just work so well together. I mean, the song is really good. The writing, the lyrics, the melody are really strong and kind of sophisticated in some of the way he puts the sections back to back. The space is appropriate. Everything feels singable, but it's in the production and how he's half of it starts off kind of acoustic guitar, but it's got a techno beat. And it's a really great study if you were producing maybe something similar. It doesn't have to be techno, but just a good arrangement of dynamics, keeping it fresh. But you're only working with, he's got 2 or 3 different parts. He's got the verse, he's got the chorus, and he's got the little hook motif that he goes to, and it's 4 minutes or whatever, and it's just a great little tune.
Well, I mean, that's really good. Right, and that's one of the things that I've always said. Mastery of that kind of stuff, mastery of using proper forms, meaning how you're organizing your ideas, is what often separates a really great composer from a not so great one. So when you listen to Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, right? Listen to the first movement of that. First movement of that, I guess, is like 5 minutes long, right? What's his first melody? Da 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 da. 4 notes. That's his melody. And then later on, he does the da 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 da. So he literally has like 20 seconds worth of melodic material and turns it into a 5-minute masterpiece.
Yeah.
Very
amazing.
Right.
He's burying it.
Exactly. So that is sort of the example that we can sort of follow, is that you can take your ideas, and by changing them, modifying them, you can continue to make them more interesting. You don't have to do it exactly the same way every time. And another great example of this is Eleanor Rigby, the Beatles song. It's 2 minutes long. The whole thing's 2 minutes long. And what I love about it is that it starts with the look at all the lonely people, right? And then it also later on does the all the lonely people, where do they are, right? And so it does each one of those sections twice by itself, right? When it gets to the very end of the song, it's now time to do something a third time. What do? They do both of them at the same time. One voice is singing one melody, the other one singing this other melody. against each other at the same time. So we're still getting the same information. We haven't really changed anything, but by putting them both happening simultaneously, we've created something new that we haven't heard before by using material that we already have heard before. It's brilliant.
And the verses, every arrangement of the verse is a bit different. The strings are staccato in the second one. Like the way they kind of make those feel a bit different too is great.
Exactly. So again, I mean, to me, you want to write good melodies and good arrangements, listen to the music of the Beatles. I mean, it's all there. It's a masterclass in and of itself of what you can do.